Hey everybody, it's your old pal Steve Moore, owner of RUNMOORE, this fabulous brick and mortar running shop located in Westminster, Maryland. Thanks so much for taking some time out of your day to learn more about the Mizuno Neo Zen that's coming out in early 2025. The Neo Zen is a brand new performance trainer from Mizuno. Look how fun this shoe looks, first off. They did a great job of making a really fun looking shoe that, for this category, a performance trainer, people want something fun. And we're comparing this shoe when we're kind of getting ready for this against stuff like the Asics Nova Blast or like a Rebel from New Balance. And if you look at those shoes, they look super fun. It's a shoe that gets picked up frequently, those models, because they've done a great job of trying to grab that younger customer base. And like for Mizuno, that's sort of like a really an important part of their business, is trying to get back into that run specialty. And like for a while in that everyday trainer vibe from Mizuno, you were sort of with the rider. The rider was their everyday neutral trainer. But over time, so many other brands were introducing shoes that were much funner for every day, and Mizuno just didn't really have one to compete against. So like if you were pulling a New Balance Rebel and you said, well, here's a shoe from Mizuno that kind of is like it, they're not like it. It was a night and day difference, but they were sort of the only option you had from the Mizuno family. So the Zen comes in as a $150 bouncy everyday trainer, and all of a sudden, like, they're right back in the mix with everybody. So before I get too far in here, let's dive into some of the nitty-gritty specs of the new Mizuno Neo Zen. On the men's side, it weighs 8.5 ounces, and on the women's, it's 7.1 ounces. This has a 6mm drop from 40mm down to 34mm. It features a full knit upper and Mizuno's ENERZY NXT, which is a supercritical TPU midsole. Awesome. Okay, so things we really like about this shoe. Personally, first off, stepping into it in the fit, because if you're somebody who had tried last year the Neo Vista, which was like a big step for Mizuno. This is like a high cushion shoe, had a booty cup, it had a plate in it. This was like a big step in a new direction for Mizuno. But if you watch that review from me, I didn't love it. It did great for Mizuno, and it actually did really well for us here at the shop, but like just personally, it just didn't work for me. I was somewhat confused by it. I like couldn't run fast in it, even though it had a plate. I felt very sloggy in it. I felt like the shoe with this big like gap here, like it almost fanned out too much, and I just didn't know what to do with it. And like I have much more clear understanding of the Zen and like what I would want to do on it. Like the cushion level on it, it feels vastly superior to the Vista, which is nice too because it costs less. So this is like $150 shoe that to me performs better than the $180 big brother to this shoe. It fits better as far as the width and the length as well. I just didn't love the way that fit in the Vista, but the Zen immediately putting it on, I actually could have gone down a little bit on it, which is a rarity for me in a Mizuno shoe. I'm an 11.5, and I actually got a size 11 last year when I got this shoe, and it fit me great. In fact, I wouldn't want to go up a half. I was sort of lamenting when I got the 11 that like this is going to be a tough shoe for me because it wasn't quite my size, but I was wrong. So if you are somebody who's been a Mizuno fan for a while and you're sort of accustomed to sizing up, maybe because you needed the width or maybe because you felt they were cut short, you shouldn't have to do that with the Zen. So right away there, I'm going to give them a thumbs up. I also found that I'm somebody who doesn't necessarily love a one-piece booty like this. I'm one of those, like, it's unnecessary. And it's one of the things I didn't love about the Vista, but they did a much better job with this. I still think it would be something that would be nice to have another option if you didn't. Brooks has different models where they might have like a stealth fit and a non-stealth fit. I think if this shoe does well for Mizuno, it would be something to maybe revisit to have not a booty cup feel, because not everybody likes that. But for us, this seems to be a much easier in and out booty cup than we've seen from other brands, including Mizuno. So that's a much better feel to it. I love the upper on it. It's one of those, like, it catches your eye, right? Like, this is a really cool shoe, and whether it's this fun pattern or this fun pattern, they did a good job of making this an approachable shoe at an approachable point that's gonna grab your attention when you first get into it. I also think because they took the plate away, it feels much more cushioned. While it has 4mm less of stack height and cushion to it, it feels like we've added and elevated the plushness to it. And so, like, I wouldn't necessarily want to go short and fast in a Vista. I can run short and fast in this. Like, I would have no problem taking this to the track and doing like 400-meter repeats in it, and I'd feel good about it. I also have enough cushion that if I wanted to go out and do like a 15-mile road run, like I could totally get away with it in this shoe and also still feel the energy that I wanted from when I was on the track doing 400 meters. Like you can sort of have the versatility with this. And that's one thing that on some other performance trainers that we were talking about, a lot of times when someone picks up like I don't want to name a shoe behind me, but like a performance trainer from another brand, and I might say, you know, I might top out at a half marathon on that shoe. You know, that cushion's great for a high school runner, maybe 10 miles or less. This, you could do way more in. Like you could run a marathon on this shoe and you wanted to and still feel like you have that plush, bouncy feel to it for a $150 trainer. So they did a great job of making this shoe available to like the masses. Between its look, between the price point, between the different opportunities and places you can use it, they did an excellent job with this shoe. I think it's a good direction for the brand and a direction that they kind of needed to do. So it has a much more elevated midsole as well. That was one thing. This was a super critical EVA midsole where this is a TPU. So they have like a more premium, even super critical midsole to it. So like by lowering the price from what is the big brother to it, by taking away the plate, by elevating the midsole, and by making a better upper, they made like a brand new shoe that has a little bit of heritage to the Vista from last year, but way better and cost less. So like, again, I hate to poop on the Vista, but if you were somebody who liked this, there's no reason why you wouldn't love this shoe. And if you're somebody who just loves a bouncy everyday trainer, you should feel pretty good about the Zen. If you have any further questions on the Zen, hey, why wouldn't you? Leave them down below. We'll try to get back to you as soon as we can. If you're in the greater Westminster area, stop on by and say hello. There's a good chance you'll catch me while I'm here. And if you wanted to purchase a Zen, we'll have a link down below. Enter promo code RUNMOORE. You'll save 10%. We'll ship it out for free. Hey, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you around town. Thanks so much for watching. Click the videos on the screen to learn more about some related content.